funny how life spins. Now, I sit here on my rebuilt porch, black coffee in hand, mountain air crisp and clean, watching the sunrise paint the Rockies gold. Peaceful, right? Hard to believe all it took to get here was saying no to the wrong person. That one word lit a fuse that burned through my house, exposed mob ties, and dragged me out of retirement like some aging hero in a courtroom thriller. Name's Alex Rivera, 48, former judge. Thought I'd traded chaos for quiet when I walked away after 25 years of wrangling legal disputes, property battles, bitter divorces, evictions that hollowed people out. I'd had enough. So I bought this old ranch-style house in Oakwood Estates, suburb carved into the mountainside, full of charm and slow mornings. Big backyard for growing basil and thyme. Hammock strung beneath the oaks. Kids laughed in the streets. Folks waved without knowing your name. Next door was Sarah Jenkins, hard-hitting journalist with a sixth sense for secrets. Across the road, Mike Harland, ex-cop in his 60s, always elbow-deep in car engines. Seemed like good people, the kind of neighbors who respected fences and minded their business. I figured this was it, the quiet I'd earned. But trouble doesn't knock, it storms your porch, and in Oakwood, it wore heels and held a clipboard. It began on a bright Tuesday. I was halfway through my second cup when she strutted up. Karen Whitaker, HOA president, blazer so stiff it squeaked. Clipboard clutched like a badge. She ran some local nonprofit too. Looked good on a grant form, but I'd later discover it was a cash funnel for her schemes. "Mr. Rivera," she barked. No greeting, no welcome, just a stack of paperwork. "Annual dues are $2,500. Sign here. We'll deal with your compliance violations later." Compliance. I'd barely moved in. The rule book she handed me was thicker than the state constitution. Every paint shade had to be proved. Gnomes capped at 4 inches. Fences locked to a precise 42 inches. Even my bird feeder had to harmonize visually. This wasn't a neighborhood, it was a dictatorship. And Karen, the self-appointed queen, I handed the forms back. I didn't move here to be micromanaged. Her smile was ice. "Standards matter here, Mr. Rivera. Those who reject them don't last." Then she turned and walked away, but her eyes said it all. I'd just made her enemies list, and so began the siege. Citations showed up like clockwork. $100 for a mailbox that was too taupe, $250 because my grass dared grow past 3 inches, $300 for a ceramic frog labeled visual clutter. It was petty, sure, but I'd seen power games like this before. Karen wasn't enforcing order. She was feeding control cravings born from some old hurt. Her HOA wasn't a service, it was a stage for her need to dominate. The final straw came when she claimed 12 feet of my yard as HOA easement for a planned walking path. Never mind, there'd never been one. She had a doctored survey in hand paid off and forged. That's when Sarah came knocking, rain in her hair and suspicion in her eyes. Saw some shady surveyors, no permits. Something stinks. Then Mike, beer in hand. Been watching unmarked vans circle your place. Plates dirty, feels off. The warning sank deep. I started logging everything. Timestamps, photos, emails. It stirred something I'd buried. I knew this game and how to play it. Nights stretched longer. Every creak, every breeze had me jumping. I checked locks twice, installed cameras. Paranoia curled around my mind like smoke. Then they showed up. 2 men built like they'd been carved from concrete. "Summit Guard Services. We hear you've got trouble," one said. "Smile like a shark. We offer solutions, or things can. Get messy. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't meant to be." Karen had hired muscle, suburban intimidation. I held my tongue, took the card, but later linked them to a crime family I'd helped prosecute a decade back. Summit was their latest front. Then the fire came. Midnight, the sky lit up. Smoke, heat, the stench of accelerant. I grabbed my laptop and bolted. Lost everything. Photos, antiques, memories, and there she was. Karen, in her robe, fake gasp and crocodile tears. "Alex, how awful. Stay in my guest suite." I said nothing. Mike just murmured, "We saw the next day." Insurance flagged me as suspicious. Karen's whispers had done their damage. But Sarah had proof, footage grainy, but clear enough. shadows pouring gas, hired hands from Summit. And that flipped. The Switch.C, months back I'd been tapped for a federal judgeship. Kept it quiet, wanted to enjoy retirement. But now I had a job to finish. I called Lisa Monroe Exta, mob buster. Lisa, it's Judge Rivera. I've got a case for you. Arson, fraud, HOA. Queen gone rogue. She laughed. Say no more. Sending in the cavalry. Hours later, Agent Alina Vargas from the FBI was at my door. You've got a hell of a file, she said, flipping through my evidence. We traced the money. Karen had wired $25,000 stolen from her fake nonprofit to Summit. Guard. Emails laid out the plot, harassment, then fire. Her past came crashing in. Fired from 2 HOAs in other states for similar abuse. Sued for stalking, obsession with control that hid something deeper, loneliness, maybe loss. Whatever it was, she turned communities into war zones. The raid hit at dawn, Karen screaming, barefoot in her driveway, I am Oakwood. No one, neighbor shouted back. You ruined Oakwood. Media ran wild. HOA tyrant burns judge's house. That's front page stuff. Her nonprofit collapsed overnight. The board expelled her. At trial. Her slick lawyer tried painting me the villain, but the evidence sang. Alina showed the wire transfers. Sarah's footage rolled. Mike testified. Karen cracked on the stand, croaked out that she only offered advice. The jury wasn't buying it. Guilty, arson, racketeering, conspiracy. 20 years, court ordered restitution. She wrote me once from prison, said we were alike fighters. I never replied. Summit collapsed. Executives jailed. Oakwood dropped the HOA. Home values jumped. Yards grew free. Kids roamed wild. And I rebuilt. Gardens, thriving hammocks back. I sleep deep again. Still, I wonder, did I go too far? Use my title to hammer someone broken? Or was justice finally served cold, as it should be? Unchecked power warps people, turns friendly streets into battlegrounds. So, I ask you, would you fight back or fold? Drop your HOA horror stories below. Like, subscribe, share.